Right. Now, we're going to open the floor up to questions. So, you have a question to ask, please ask it. And our debaters have 3 minutes each to respond. Oh, Susan says she'll talk as long as she wants. Okay. Yes, sir. Please stand.
Ron mentioned that there's no film you can possibly make that can please you, and then you said that that's not true, that there is something that can please you.
Well, it's not actually. I find it really interesting that everybody asks that question as if I have to have an answer to the question. As if I didn't find that he wasn't able to give you an example of something that would bring you pleasure, that means that I just am sexually not happening, sexually not interesting, not a real person. So I have a problem with that from the start, that if I can't give you an answer to that question, then that's suddenly my problem. Sometimes I think that, people have a moratorium on the whole thing of having to find sexual stimuli from outside and from, materials that are conveyed to us that, I actually think our sexualities would be enhanced. What I disagree with is I said the only kind that I think would solve my problem about exploitation was if a man and a woman who, were to film themselves and maybe share that. Although I want to make another point about the way sexuality operates in our culture, because I have a feeling that if a film of a married couple who was monogamous, who were having, straight ahead sex, like that actually would not be very interesting to anybody. So it kind of doesn't, right? Because we live in this culture that we're pushing the envelope so much that actually if somebody were to put something like that up, nobody would be very interested in it. So that was why I interrupted him, because he said that I would even not approve of that. I said when I said, no, that's not true, I meant I don't have that big a problem with people who, I even have less problem with women who are controlling their own sites on the internet, although I still think that they're, in a way, making themselves really vulnerable. They don't know who's using the material, they don't know how the material is being used, and they don't know whether in 10 years that they're going to be happy that they put out that material. So, but I do see ways in which, depending on where it's coming from, let's just say less problematic.
I would rephrase it, Susan. I wouldn't want to ask her. I totally agree with Susan that you should find good sex with your own partner. I'm just saying is that, if you want to use other things, toys, props, go to an adult store, buy a library that might turn you guys on, or you watch a porn film.
Well, I didn't say I was against sex toys.
No, it could be a non-romantic enhancement. People often look at porn to try out some positions. They say, let's try that one out, with their wife. And often couples see porn together. And the thing is, I agree with her. You should find sexuality with yourself. Naturally, it's a lot more important. But I think porn can actually be helpful. And I want it with her, since she doesn't really. I would want to phrase it with Susan, not in the way that what porn would you like. I would ask her, what porn would you not find offensive? What porn would you think is not that bad? And that's the way I guess to phrase it and make it better. But again, just to enhance my point, to be totally honest, who here in the audience has ever seen porn with a lover, a significant other, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, both work together as a team? Alright, see? There's a lot of people. So if you're looking at recreationally, you're looking at marvelous grades in school, you're all terrific. It's not that pretty life, and everyone's here.
I have a question for you because Ron's so big on his 18 and over.
That could have been really weird.
How did you saw your pornography while you were under the age of 18? I just find that Ron's point about 18 and over is just,
We don't cater to that.
No, but it's ridiculous for you to say you're all clean because, we don't have any impact or influence on people because we're only available at 18 years of age and over. It's just simply not true.
Oh, we're not going to talk about porn in this second, that's collection.
No, your point was that people under 18 were more vulnerable. Like that, but you're all clean because you're all over 18 years of older. And I'm just saying that. This fine group of people here, many of them are looking at porn.
And that's totally fine. It's still happy, healthy we don't care in that group, but I don't think it's upset you guys too severely.
Just for the record, our parents' porn doesn't count. You had a question
She's
about?
one of these people find it boring, because a lot of people do. Adam and Eve is a whole series about couples, husbands and wives having sex. It's like a how-to. Nina Hartley, plays it herself while she describes the various, things that these couples are doing. And they actually are selling, so they're not finding it boring, but for the kinkier market, they want to see more nasty stuff. But Adam and Eve does sell. It's a very good company. And Vivid, Adam and Eve, and Metro make a lot of soft films that are more straight, normal boy-girl sex.
The back, sorry, you had your hand.
Recently, there was a film released, I think it was last year. It's entitled Short Bus. It is a mainstream film, and it does depict real-life sex, and it kind of blurs the line between pornography and art. So, Susan, you being against pornography and Ron Jeremy obviously for pornography, would you believe that this is a work of art or a work of pornography?
There's also more. Hold on, let me say there's more. There's Basin Wa, there's Fat Girl, there's Kids, Bully, and there's one called Brown Bunny, which had a hardcore scene, an oral sex scene between Chloe Sevigny, who's an Academy Award nominated actress, and Vince Gilligan, who starred in Buffalo 66. These are two, Caligula had A-list actors not having sex. Peter O'Toole, John Gilbert, Malcolm Bell. But this film, Brown Bunny, which was panned by the critics because it was a terrible film.
Piece of crap.
It actually had hardcore oral, even an orgasm, with Chloe Sevigny, who's an A-list actress in Hollywood, now on a big TV series. So the line's being blurred a lot more than you think.
Well, I really think it's, by the way, it's the first time somebody's asked me about Short Bus, and it's a really good question, so I really appreciate the question. Whenever we're talking about this question of when lines are blurred, you've mentioned it in terms of this really good film that Sookie Lee made, and Ron makes the point about, there's all this other stuff that's exploited with women and where women are sexualized and all of that. I find it that you can distinguish between all those other forms of culture and products of culture and pornography, because, Short Bus was meant to be funny, it was meant to be sexual, but its primary purpose wasn't to turn people on. That wasn't why you went to the show. You knew you were going to get a little bit of a turn on, and some of it was, kind of hot. But the point of it, it's important to distinction, because I'm asked this all the time. What makes the pornography different to you than that poor, terribly messed up creature Britney Spears in her videos? And why doesn't somebody help her? Why would MTV allow that thing to happen, to mock her and continue to humiliate her when they knew that she was going to make a fool of herself? The whole thing was completely appalling. Somebody help her. But the difference between those products of culture is that pornographers are really after one thing. They want to turn you on, and they know what is going to work. So they want to have a particular influence, not on your head, and not, it's something that we learn in our bodies. Sookie and Lee didn't make that movie so that you would go see it and come. That wasn't, I had talked to her about it personally. I know that that's not why she made that movie. But pornographers are after one thing, and that's why I'm saying that our sexualities are being colonized. I find it ironic that people think of it as an exercise in freedom, when in fact we're all going to be enslaved by it because we can't do anything for ourselves anymore because we're being inculcated with these ideas and with this plastic, inauthentic kind of stuff. So that's why I talk about pornography. I'm also against all kinds of forms of sexist culture and have written about it and talked about it and tried to make different kinds of culture, products of culture myself. But there is something different about this particular thing. It's something that, that they're really taking over our bodies in particular.